In the late 80s, there's not much more that Zaiko Langa Langa could have done to increase its popularity in Africa. Since the beginning of its almost 20 years of existence, the band had left a permanent print on the landscape of African music, and it had also launched the career of several greats such as Papa Wemba and Grand-Père Bozi Boziana. Zaiko Langa Langa was like a baobab, and similar to most trees, it had resisted many storms. The group had been weakened by the departures of many musicians. However, the baobab was not strong enough to resist the storm that hit the group in the late 80s. In this video, we will not focus on the history of the band, but rather on the origins of that final storm. Origins which, as you will see, are the causes of much more than storms in our daily lives. So hello, welcome to the Botengu channel. I use this channel to show videos about music theory, others with myself playing music, and I also like to make small documentaries on African music. You can like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. The story starts in the late 80s. A group of Gabonese officials gathered with members from the famous Zaiko Langa Langa band in a hotel in Belgium. Needless to say that, like most Central Africans, these officials were in awe of the band. However, unlike most Central Africans, those officials had money, and a lot of it, and they were not afraid of spending it. One of the officials noticed, and I paraphrase, "You guys form such a great band, and we really like your music. I am surprised that some of your members are living in extreme poverty." He then added, "We would like to help you. We are willing to give all of your musicians land with a house and a car so that all of you can take care of your respective families." What a proposition by the officials. The career of a musician is too often a road paved of obstacles, and it is rarely financially compensated, especially in Africa. You would think that only somebody out of their mind would refuse such an offer, right? Well, here was the response of the band's president. "Sir, I think you are becoming too humanitarian." A shock. From that point on, as you can imagine, some problems started with the other members. The band then split. On one side, the president stayed with a bunch of minor musicians and formed Zaiko Langa Langa Koloboka, while on the other side, the other key figures of the band, people who had been there for a long time, went to form Zaiko Familia Dei. The story was narrated by one of the lead guitarists of the band at the time, Beniko Popolipo. As the guitarist did not give a lot of information on why the president refused the offer, it is only up to us to make a guess, and this is mine. The president refused the offer because he wanted to preserve hierarchy. Many of us have heard the story of a man to whom the gods offered to give him anything he wanted, with the only condition that his brother would be given twice what he had. The man asked the gods to pierce one of his eyes. Hierarchy explains why a lot of rich people will prevent others from getting the same wealth. It is not only important to have wealth, it is sometimes as important to have more than others. As a manager, you want to make sure that the ones under your supervision do not reach the same level of wealth as you. Even more than that, you want to make sure that all they are getting comes from you. Otherwise, you have no control over them. However, at the same time, you do not want them to know that. You want them to believe that you are doing everything in their best interest. Some might say that the president should have refused in private. But aside from that option, if things were to happen again, from the moment the president chose to answer publicly, only two avenues were left for him and for the group. Either the president accepted, and that would have shambled the hierarchy of the group as we have seen in other bands, or he could just retake the route that he took and suffer the consequences, as the group was going to name the next album.